Spartan Transportation and Spartan Logistic Management is your one source for all your shipping needs. 53-foot dry van shipments, auto transport shipments, full-service in-house brokerage, drop-lot facilities, just-in-time deliveries to all auto manufacturers, facilities in St. Louis, Missouri, Kansas City, Missouri, and Indianapolis, Indiana. Spartan Logistics, LLC, proud sponsor of the IROC Series, Kyle Steffens UMP Modified and Silver Crown Driver, and Gordy Gundaker, World of Outlaws Late Model. Visit us at spartan-logistics.net or find us on Facebook.
R&R Racewear, your source to all custom racewear apparel needs and home to iRacing apparel. Check it out today at rnrracewear.com.
Can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fights, oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallant
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to another race for the Spartan Transportation LLC IROC Challenge Series. Tonight, as you can see, it is the Tricky Triangle. Pocono Raceway deep in the Pocono Mountains. As always, every single one of these Thursday nights, the man, the myth, the legend, the one and only KS Gaming 51, or my buddy Swats. Swats, here we are in my former home state, your former home state, up in the Pocono Mountains, up Route 115. And man, great to have you back. It seems like we were just talking about the last week at Dover and the road course race before that unfortunately we weren't able to get together for. I had to do a little bit of traveling, but here we are in the beautiful Pocono Mountains. How are you, sir?
Pete, thanks for having me back. As always, it's fun. Obviously, anytime I'm in the booth with you, it's going to be a fun time. This track tonight, I'm excited to see who can make it through these 3 turns. That's right, there's only 3 turns at Pocono. Pete, it's a track I've never been to, in person. I was always warned by my dad not to go to the track because when he was a small child and went, you could see the entire track. Now when you go, I guess there's about 20 to 30 foot trees in the way in the middle to where you can't see most of the track. So, but we'll see a lot of action on track tonight with a lot of these guys. Will the McCann brothers be able to continue their lead in the points, first and second in points? Or will somebody else step in and try to pass them in the points? It's going to be a tricky task for them, no pun intended.
Yeah, absolutely. It's always been out there. Hashtag what turn 4. There's been trivia discussed about this place, about the 3 very, very different turns. Turn 1, very deep, very sweeping. Going downhill, and you got to try to hope that when you get back in the throttle, you're not almost knocking down the wall. And then of course we got the tunnel turn, extremely tricky, and then a very, very flat turn number 3. I mentioned a little bit of trivia about this place. Turn number 1 is modeled after Trenton Speedway, Trenton, New Jersey Speedway. Turn number 2 modeled right after the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. A little bit of fame there. And then of course turn 3 is going to be famed after the Milwaukee Mile. So very tricky track, very different. Hashtag what turn 4. And man, all kinds of history. This is one of the only tracks that actually started up not being part of the NASCAR family, not owned by the Francis, actually privately owned by a doctor and his family right out of Pennsylvania. I forget his last name right now. He passed a few years back, but yeah, this is one hell of a track. Jessica Stubblefield out there saying Stubbs. Talking all about Timothy Stubblefield in that 79 Silverado. We'll definitely catch up with him throughout the night. Same thing with Jennifer Ray here for Stub Nation. But how about Chris Morton, Swats? I mentioned him while the anthem was still playing. Says every time this is sung, I cry. Man, as a veteran of the United States Air Force, I can absolutely appreciate that. Thank you very much, Chris. It is a moving tribute every single time that it's played.
Absolutely, Pete. The anthem, obviously, you see it in a lot of different sports. You've seen the Super Bowl where the 49ers coach was, in tears. You see it in a lot of different places where a lot of people care about the national anthem being, sung or played in big sporting events, and it's something to be proud of. And as United States people, we obviously are very, very proud of it, and for the most part. But talking about tonight's race, Pete, personally, I wish they would take turn 1 out because it's a turn that I cannot figure out. Never have been able to, whether it was on console or iRacing. 2 and 3, not bad at all. Number 1, though, I cannot figure out how to carry speed through. A lot of guys have, braking points or let-off points, or, when they start to angle down. There's a lot of guys when they see the last cone on the fence, they start slowing down there. There's guys that start slowing down at the 3 cones on the wall. Those cones are kind of tricky spots for people to determine where that turn is starting, and it takes a lot of figuring out and skill. I actually had somebody tell me that they wished they would take this track and flip it to the other side of turn 2 and add in a long straightaway out of turn 2 all the way to create a 4 turn track. So basically just flip the track in half and add 2 more turns to it and just create giant 4 turned 6-mile track.
There you go. Yep, 2.5 mile tricky triangle. Again, deep in the Pocono Mountains. 78 degree air temp. Looks like 103 degree track temp. We're gonna go ahead and bring up our grid right now. And as soon as the system decides it wants to play well with others, let's try that one more time. Give me 1 second, please. Pretty pleased with cherries on top. A little bit of got a reset. I had to pull all this up a while back, and I want to. No, actually, what am I saying? It's not the not time for the grid. These guys got their 9-minute warm up yet. Kind of getting a little ahead of myself. Swats.
I was letting you go there, Pete.
Yeah, thanks a lot, buddy. Appreciate appreciate you set me up to fail. But all right. Anyhow. So 9 more minutes. I actually go ahead and take a look and see how these guys practice. If it'll work with me on that side. There we go. So Aaron Smith was the fastest in practice, followed closely by Chris Mefford, Kevin McCann, and Brian McCann. I tell you, Swats, those McCann brothers, right along with the Meffords, and then Ryan Crooks getting it done here recently as well. It seems like no matter what track we go to, and I hate to sound like a broken record, but the cream absolutely rises to the top.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we were looking at the point standings earlier, and like I said, the McCann brothers are first and second. It's not a complete shock that Brian's up there. It's not a complete shock either that Kevin's up there. Both of them very, very skilled, very, very talented. Brian, we probably hear more about because of the amount of races that he runs, the championship from last season here at the Spartan Side IROC TV Challenge here. It's hard to compete with those two. It's like saying the Bush brothers. Both of them champions in real NASCAR. Both of them a lot of wins. It's very comparable, is what I'm saying.
Oh yeah, it really is. And last season at the end of or for season 5, they ran the Xfinity cars. This season, this is what their 5th race in the trucks. I assume next year maybe they'll go over to the next gens or the Gen 4s or maybe the Gen 6s or maybe go to ARCA or who knows, but these guys guarantee to put on a great show each and every time they set out on track again. And it doesn't matter whether it's a super speedway, a road course, short track, tricky place like this, or if we go to Auto Club or Michigan or Kansas or Vegas, any old cookie cutter, these guys put on one hell of a show each and every time, and I'm absolutely proud to be here for this series. It's a lot of fun, and I'm glad that you're here with me.
Like I said, Pete, to be here in the booth with you is always a pleasure. It's entertaining. And it's just fun to sit here and talk with you about racing, what we're watching, the real life stuff. Obviously, we've went to lunch, we've went to the Roval. There's a lot of different things, and it's amazing how many people can meet and talk, and the amount of people that are in the same interests as you when you are watching stuff like this. I mean, it's essentially people tuning in to watch a simulation of racing, not real racing, but simulation racing. And there are people that can definitely meet and become really, really good friends. And I definitely classify you as being at the top of the list.
I definitely appreciate that. Ryan Crooks actually just sent me a message, says, love the broadcast. Quick thought, can we get Kurt's volume on his voice turned up a little to match yours? Absolutely love the broadcast. So I guess that kind of clears up what I was kind of wondering about earlier. And yep, I absolutely can. I'll go ahead and crank him up a bit right now. And hopefully that makes things a little bit better, Ryan. Thank you very much for the help. Absolutely appreciate it, sir.
Yeah, I don't know how much more to fix that, because my output volume is now at 190, so I'm not sure how to make myself any louder.
It might be on my side. I cranked you up to like 140, so hopefully a little bit better. But for the Stubblefield fans, there we go. Stubble fan fields, there we go. from Lebanon, Tennessee, and his onboard Stub Racing. Right now, Stubblefield is sitting about P11 on the boards, right behind Wysocki and ahead of Chris Wally in that number 51. He's got the 5 of Dellinger back there, as well as Kyle Pendergraft. So right now, the 7 of Brown, Dave Brown to be exact, he's on top in this practice with under 5 minutes to go, followed by David Trumley, Gabe Ellison, Chris Mefford, and Bill Hales. Now, that's kind of interesting. You know, there's not a McCann in there. There is a Mefford, but no McCann. And is it just because of the track we're at? You know, this you've really got to be good at a track like this in order for it to meet your niche.
Yeah, and I'm looking at the board here, and I'm not seeing Kevin actually running many laps here in this warm-up. But Brian has run a few laps. He's, in the top 10, but not up there towards, the top 3. But I don't necessarily think Brian cares about the qualifying positions, just the same as Kevin. As long as they start somewhere in that top 12 kind of range, they kind of just migrate right to the front anyways. So this track here, it really depends on your draft as well. Draft it's a big part of this track. So I really think those two linking up, if they can qualify somewhere around the same time and be in the same position or near each other, I definitely think we'll see those two lock up and try to push their way to the front. But got to have friends on track. You can't be a solo driver out there with nobody to work with. And if you are a solo driver out there looking for people, be open to it. Work with everybody or anybody. Don't limit yourself. But I don't know, Pete. I'm not questioning the McCanns right now because of how good they've been. Like I said, points first and second. Kevin's already got the win. Brian's been super fast. Finished on top 3, I think, 4 times already. So it's been kind of ridiculous the amount of times we've seen a McCann in the top 3 already. 4 races into the season.
I got to tell you, I'm riding along with the 3 of Brian McCann right now out of King, North Carolina, and I gotta love his profile picture. He's got the Iceman, shades on, the old aviators, and it says, "When in doubt, go faster." So we've heard that hashtag "go faster" a few times in other series, other leagues, and when you got a driver with the caliber of Brian McCann talking about going faster, something tells me he'd still be able to do that while taking care of his right front, not really allowing the truck to step out from him too far, and he's a pretty cool character behind the wheel. So it's going to be interesting to see what that 3 is capable of. But right now, just hanging inside he's sitting P10 as he's trying to come on down pit road, practicing a pit road entry. How about Neil Quick, though, in the deuce, about to turn into turn number 1 and try to work a little bit more on his points as far as his entry point, and then his exit point, his throttle point. There's so many different things that you've got to do at this track that you might not have to do at some of the other cookie cutters because they're not quite as technical.
Yeah, we've got Nikki Short out there as well saying cheering for Team Short. So that would be Vincent Short, who's right there in the top 10 in this warm-up. So I'm kind of surprised a little bit, Pete. Not just that the McCanns are not in the top 5 in qualifying, but the people that are in the top 5 in qualifying. Kyle Pendergraft has had some bad races the last couple races besides his first race of the season at Daytona, winning that race. He's had some bad luck the last few weeks, and he's sitting right now in the top 4 in the warm-up. Brandon Medford, also Robert Barney, he's had a kind of a challenging couple weeks where he's had some fast cars. He just hasn't been able to get into that top 3 at the end of the race. David E. Brown, he's been towards the front most of the races, just does not have the finishes to put it here. So there's a lot of guys. I mean, even going past the P4 spot, David Trumbley, Gabriel Ellison, Bill Hales, Vincent Short, that's the top 10 right now. And a lot of those guys have not been finishing in the top 5 in any of the races we've had. So it's maybe it's time for these guys to step in and say, you know what, we're not going to watch the McCann show or the Ryan Crooks show either. I've been kind of waiting to see who steps up.
Yeah, there we go. Well, we're about to find out. We're going to go ahead and clear the boards right now, and we're going to go ahead and pull up your grid so you know exactly where everybody's at all evening, or where we're starting this thing out at. We'll try that, and this time I won't be hung out to dry, Mr. Swats. But yeah, let's go ahead and bring up your grid and show you exactly what is happening with our starting order. So Chris Mefford in that 46, he's going to go ahead and start P number 1. It looks like it's going to be Brandon Mefford in the 83 for P2. P3 is going to be Aaron Smith in that 70 for the outside of row number 2. It's going to be Ryan Crooks in that number 1. Kevin McCann in the 33, P5. P6 going to be Gabe Ellison. Ryan Honeycutt in the 18, and on the outside of row number 4, it's going to be David E. Brown, Doc Brown I'm going to call him, in his number 7. P9, Brian McCann in his 3, with Robert Barney in his 16, P number 10. P11, David Trumbley in his 96, and to round out your 6th row and your top 12, it's going to be Neil Quick in that deuce. So that is going to be how the top 12 line up, and wouldn't you know it, again, this tool is not going to work with me. So to go through the rest of your field, it's going to be Vincent Short, P13. P14 is going to be Joshua Funkhauser, Byron Jones, Cook Quick, Kyle Pendergraft, Stoney Benfield, Tim Schofield, Dylan Dellinger, Timothy Stubblefield, Bill Hales in his 53 starting double deuce. 23rd is going to be Doug Wysocki, Chris Wally, Sam Maxwell, and Bill Walker to round out your 26 truck field. This is, I almost called you Byron. Swats, this is going to be one hell of a race.
Yep, it's going to be really interesting to see some guys come from mid-pack to backpack that I expected to see up towards the front. But, I mean, this track is so difficult that you have to hit it perfectly almost every single time to be fast. You make one little mistake in turn 1, you make one little mistake in turn 2, one little mistake in turn 3, and it just tears the entire track up for you. And then it can mess up your next lap as well if you're not back up to speed or found a drafting partner or, just not in the rhythm. So a lot of this track, like road courses, is rhythm. Because you have 3 completely different style turns built into this 3-turn track.
Very much so. Very, very much so. Speaking of the track, let's go ahead and bring up your track map again so you see where everybody's at. Right now, you see him coming off turn 3. Again, hashtag what turn 4. Barney's got the field in view. As you see, the green flag is up. Again, cheers out there for Short, Stubbs, and everybody else. Let's go green flag racing from Pocono. Let's go.
Pete, I love the sound of these trucks whenever they get going. Same with the other series that we've done in the past for other different leagues. Just the NASCAR sound.
Whoa! Hold on to it, 46. Hold on to it.
It's not going to be good.
And we've got some rollers in turn number 1. It's going to be Neil Quick and Chris Mefford. Unfortunately, you saw the one of Ryan Crooks just barely skate on by. The 46 just on the bottom got hooked a little bit. And we just saw that up live. Let's actually go back, if we can though, with the one and show you what Ryan Crooks was looking at. That had to be something interesting. Oh, let's go ahead and rewind that because that's not Ryan Crooks either. There we go. All right, and let's stop it right there. Let's go ahead and switch on over to our trusty chase cam here right quick, and we'll play it out. 3 wide for the lead. Going into turn number 1, you see one truck down low, maybe a little bit of netcode, but man, what a great job Ryan Crooks did getting on the binders, not getting into the 46, not getting collected. He lost some spots, but that IROC TV truck is in one piece versus
if you have the
in the wall.
Cam,
the what?
the blimp cam.
Yeah.
go to the blimp cam on Ryan's truck and start that over. Watch how
maybe
close it is.
Maybe the chopper cam, you mean?
Yeah, blimp chopper.
All right, let's go ahead and we'll go ahead and back that up one more time.
You can see how close it is to the front bumper of Ryan Crooks. He did an amazing job of slowing down.
All right, we'll go ahead and play it out. Ooh! Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could have
How
been
he stopped the time.
that could have been bad. All right, let's go ahead and bring it back live. All right, so great job by all. Looks like Brandon Medford, he's gonna, obviously everybody's gonna stay out. There's really, unless you got damage, there's no real reason to come on down pit road. It's funny in all that with everybody checking up and whatnot. Ryan Crooks ran the fastest lap with a 1.03. That'll be the last time that those lap times are that slow. But that just goes to show how much everybody in this field had to slow down to avoid a wreck that was literally in the front.
Yeah, Pete, and I'd be surprised if the back half of this field does not come down. If I'm, floating between maybe 12th and last place, that was 3 laps that we just ran, essentially. You had the warm-up lap, then you had the first lap, then you had the pace lap before you pit. And you're going to have another lap, too. So I would probably come down and just top off. Add that extra 3-4 laps of fuel. We were talking about it earlier about the fuel length that these guys would have. If you came down now, it would put you within the window of the one stop after the stage break.
Well, with the stage break being right at lap 20, pretty much everybody, that'll leave 60 laps. Everybody's going to be able to come on down if they're getting right about 30 laps on a tank, and if no other cautions. There's so many variables that dictate whether you come down pit road and top off or not. But these guys all can clearly, or very easily rather, make it to lap 20 for that stage break. And if for some reason another caution would come out at about lap 15, okay, I probably won't go any higher than that. Say about lap 15, absolutely hit pit road, grab 4 brand new Eagle Feel Goods, go ahead and top it off, and get ready for a long run. That's what I would do personally, but I don't race. The only thing I race is my mic.
Yeah, this whole thing's based on green flag running. What we were talking about earlier after that first stage break is, if it went green completely to the end, you could do it in one stop, essentially, based on the fuel mileage that we were told. I'm just thinking maybe don't stop at the stage break, or if another caution comes out. That was turn 1, lap 1, and we had an incident. So, if this goes another 4 or 5 laps, that's, 9, 10, 12 laps on the tires. Why not come down and stock up on fuel and tires, and then maybe go into the second stage towards the front, and maybe another caution comes out on the next restart.
Maybe. Very, very. It's definitely very, very possible. Looking at at Aaron Smith's car out of Hollywood, South Carolina, guy kind of reminds me of another guy that we both know from races in years past. But just kind of going through our top 5, working or landing right now on the 7 of David Brown behind him. Again, as you can see there on the scoring pylon, Robert Barney, Kevin McCann, Ryan Honeycutt, Brian McCann, Vincent Short, and just for giving a little bit of a shout out as well, Dave Trumbley and Kyle Pendergraft that won just a few short weeks ago. Definitely appreciate everybody that's out there, whether it's on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, or IROC TV through your favorite Roku streaming device. Welcome aboard again. This is the IROC Challenge Series live from Pocono. We're going back green. Kurt, let's go.
Yeah, I think these guys are going to take it a little easier through turn 1 this time, Pete.
Well, let's find out. Going into turn 1, it's going to be a downhill drive into turn 1 and off. And yeah, I think you're probably right as we watch. Not 3 wide this time. 3 wide was the mistake that they made before. This time, not so much. Robert Wells hand pink waving, hand pink waving, hand pink waving. I have no clue what he means. That's the one and only Mao from the EMGG watch party that comes out each and every week, whether it's here for the Challenge Series or for the Shake and Bake iRacing Cup Series that kicked off last week. Both fully sponsored by IROC TV, which is pretty cool. So right now, Ryan Crooks sitting P number 3.
Ryan's somebody that I expect to be up here at the front. I mean, as fast as he's been through every single race this season so far, last week, super dominant, super fast car last week, or truck last week. I just expect to see Ryan towards the front anytime I watch Ryan run. And he's in the top 5 already. Aaron Smith, he's somebody that I watched over on the Thursday night show that I did before Pete, and he was up there all the time winning races. So to hear that, 2 weeks ago when we missed the road course, that he came in and won that race, he's currently sitting down in the 20s in points, but really he only missed Daytona and maybe one other race in there. So he's got plenty of races left in the season to work his way up there. And if he's as good as I think he is, I think we'll be talking to him a lot more when it comes to ending of races.
Oh yeah, it's definitely very possible. Riding along with Kevin McCann right now, Brandon Mefford, Gabe Ellison right there actually just put down the fastest lap so far, running a 55.03. So very clear, 8 seconds faster than when the field had to check up because of the turn 1, lap 1 wreck, and now working lap 7. And I think everybody might have just a little bit more respect for the rest of the field. Nobody wants to be taken out that early. And so far, so good. Moses Galvin out there says, "Hey there, Maze." What's up, Maze? Good to see you. Thanks again for both you and Mao coming out, hanging out, chatting it up, keeping us company. Definitely appreciate it. Everything that you and the rest of EMGG does, both here and on Monday nights. So, Kurt, one long conga line now coming off of turn 3. Again, hashtag what turn 4, and on the longest straightaway in NASCAR. Yeah, Pocono Raceway has the longest straightaway in every single one of the NASCAR series, irregardless of what state these guys go to. It's very long. The Long Pond straightaway.
Yeah, and that's where that draft really comes into play, Pete. That's what I was saying. Coming off turn 2, you need to carry as much momentum and speed as you can to get down this long straightaway and try to suck up to the back bumper of somebody. I don't like when people try to make passes on this straightaway. It's so difficult to carry that much speed if you don't have, a group of guys following you. If you try to pull out and make a pass on one guy in front of you, most of the time that stalls out. And then when you go into turn 2, it really puts you both in a difficult situation because both of you are trying to get down to that yellow line or just below it going through turn 2, that it pinches you both down there and usually puts the guy on the outside in worse condition. And the guy on the inside gets loose, the guy on the outside gets tight and goes towards the wall. Both of them usually end up either hitting the wall or one for sure.
Yeah, one thing that a lot of these guys will be doing as the race goes on and these trucks get tighter and tighter as the right front wears is in turn 3 getting down on those rumble strips, maybe using them just a little bit to get that truck to hook and work your way through the corner. Right now, looking on with the 34, Doug Wysocki sitting P18, up 6 spots. He's got the 5 of Dylan Dellinger right in front of him. Bill Hales, Chris Wally, and Tim Schofield all running behind. So far, though, up front, it's still Gabe Ellison leading in his number 27 Silverado. Brandon Mefford started P2, still running P2. Ryan Crooks up 1 spot after starting P4. Aaron Smith down 1. And Kevin McCann also right where he started in P5. And it's interesting, Swatch, as I go through the running order, I'm seeing a lot of guys in the same exact position that they started in. Brandon Mefford started P2. That's right where he is. Kevin McCann started P5. Ryan Honeycutt started P7. Brian McCann started P9. I think that might be one of his deepest finishes or deepest starts so far this season. David Trumbley back there in 11th. So a lot of the guys still right where they started.
I hope you're up on the leaders.
I am.
At 3 wide through turn 2. It was Ryan Crooks just made a really big draft pull off the 27 as the 83 was trying to make a pass on the 27, and instead of pushing one of them, he dove to the inside and took it 3 wide into turn 2. 83 backed out of the middle just a little bit, enough to allow just 2 wide through it, but that was a pretty aggressive move through turn 2. I said turn 2 was tough with 2 trucks. Ryan Crooks just said, I hold my beer. I got 3 trucks going through turn 2 now.
Yeah, there you go. And it looks like he's going to be able to get down on that bottom, try to get back in the throttle as soon as he can, able to complete the pass. So move Ryan Crooks in that number 1 Spartan machine up to the lead. And, man, clean air in Pocono is absolutely huge. I mean, yeah, the draft can really help you a lot as well. But when you're talking these very, very tight turns, clean air is king. You know, they say in Pennsylvania that coal was king at one point. Right now, Ryan Crooks has all the clean air on the hood of that Silverado, and he's going to go ahead and lead this lap, grab a point, and look at him try to break the draft.
Yeah, and we see this happen a lot at this track. Also Indy. You know, tracks that are 4 or 5 lanes wide, we see a lot of guys on straightaways trying to break that. You see it in real life where they look like they just start all turning left to break away from each other, and then you see them turning right to get back towards the wall before the next turn. And it's funny to watch them do it. I hear a lot of people say it doesn't do anything. And then I hear some people say, well, it does something, so I'm going to keep doing it. Or I think it does something, so I'm going to keep doing it. Just like side drafting and iRacing, a lot of guys say it doesn't really do a whole lot. And then there's some guys that say it do. So it's kind of just you know, if you believe it, go for it. If you don't, then stay where you're at. The problem is if the guy behind you goes the duck low and pulls the draft off the car in front of you that went low, then you could lose a position.
Yeah, and see, look at him coming off of turn number 3, all the way down, almost to the inside, checkered apron, I guess you can call it, here at Pocono, and watch him as he sets up going into turn number 1. Way out of the throttle, get it down to the yellow line as far as he can go, and then try to get slowly but surely get back into the throttle, mat it as soon as you feel the front end gripping, and carry as much speed as you can down the backstretch. So a lot of these great camera shots as he's going through the tunnel turn right now, way down, very, very close to the apron, coming up on a lap truck.
Yeah, and I mean, all he's trying to do is break the draft so that guys can't keep up with him. I mean, in some senses, it is working because the 27 and 83 have fallen back, but Ryan was not really using a lot of his stuff. That's why when you were talking about guys still in their same starting positions, that they really haven't moved. Pocono is a track that usually produces a lot of green flag runs, and which tires are a major factor. So guys will hold back at the first 10 laps of a Pocono race, or some other tracks like Charlotte or old Atlanta. Guys would hold back and save a little tire and then have that long run car, whereas some guys would just go straight out and go. That's why you've seen a few guys making big moves, you know, +7s, +6s, +5s, and then all of a sudden they started tracking back down through the field because guys who waited are now coming. And Ryan was not really moving like he was going all for it right off the bat. So I think he's conserved a little bit of tires. The 27, 83, they kind of went for it. 27 was up +5 when he was in P1. Now he's up +4 sitting P2, and I think they may have used up their tires a little bit.
Talking about a guy that's up quite a bit, riding on board with him right now in P number 8, up 7 spots in this number 19 Silverado for the one and only Byron Jones. He started P15, so up to P8, up again 7 spots for him. Byron Jones is one that we've known again for quite a while, and I can't boast about this kid enough. We've known him since it seems like he was a squeaker, what we used to call a squeaker back in the console days. And he used to run on a laptop that could barely run iRacing. He was only able to see one truck just kind of basically kind of tagged that outside wall just a little bit and made the 18 check up again. That's going to be Ryan Honeycutt, and the 19 of Byron able to stay right there with him. But he's actually got Brian McCann behind him. So Brian's still way in the back, right where he started, P9. No gains for that driver as of yet. But what I was saying, Byron, when he first started iRacing, it was on a laptop. It was barely capable of running iRacing. He would have the track. Nothing on the infield, nothing on the outside of the wall. He had the track, the wall, and about 10 cars, and that was it. That's all he could see. But since the man has gone out, he got a really, really nice gaming computer. He's running on triples now. He has just really lit the wick in so many different racing communities, leagues, clubs, whatever you want to call it, and has been doing one hell of a job. I thought I was going to be able to catch him right there making a move. Yep, he's going to pull the inside of Honeycutt going into turn 3, Swats.
Yeah, it's a difficult turn to make that pass because the outside car usually has the momentum. I thought maybe the 3 would be able to push up against the 19 and maybe push him through. He sticks with the 18. He's not going to be able to get back in. And yes, he is. He's going to close off the door on the 3, but I thought maybe he would stay low on the 18 and hope that the 3 would go with him to push him past him, but the 3 looked like he was going to stay up with the 18, so the 19 slid right back between the 18 and 3. He's going to have to try again. This is a track where you can't make a turn in one or make a pass in one turn. You've got to set it up for an entire lap, essentially, for a specific spot to make that pass.
Absolutely. Talk about making passes. Brandon Mefford was able to retake P number 2, so put that 83 right back where he started. But right now, still Ryan Crooks up 3 spots, continuing to lead here from Pocono. Gabe Ellison P3, Aaron Smith P4, and Kevin McCann P number 5. Swats, we're working lap 17, gonna be 18 next time by, getting closer and closer to that lap 20 stage break. Because we haven't had any other cautions, I haven't seen anybody else go on down pit road to maybe try pitting a little early. It looks like everybody is going to stay out so far and just come on in on the stage break. Grab those 4 brand new Eagle Feel Goods, do what they got to do, and then get down, get dirty, get racy for the final 60 laps where they may only have to pit one more time.
Yeah, and I'm kind of surprised by that, Pete. Like I said before on the first caution, if you were 12th on back, I would be considering it. But right now, I mean, if you're still within, I would say 15 seconds, which the top 21 are all within 12 seconds, you won't go a lap down on this track if you pit with 2 laps to go. Before the stage break. So, I mean, it'll be close. You might have the leader behind you in the rearview mirror, but I don't know if you'll go a lap down for sure. But if you do it, you'll be starting up front on the second half of this race. And, I mean, we've talked about it. Clean air is king. So, in those front positions, you could be leading this race, and it could be very difficult for people to make passes on you. I'd be shocked to see anybody outside the top 12 not come down.
Are you, when you say shocked not to, and not come down, are you talking about like
come down, grab a set of tires, throw some fuel in it?
Oh, everybody will.
For the end of the stage too.
Yeah, no, everybody will come on down pit road. I have no doubt in my mind.
Oh, no. I mean before the end of the stage.
Oh.
Like 2 laps to go before it.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah.
Try to reset the second half of this race and start up front after the stage break.
Well, the guy that's going to go ahead and be up front at the end of the the first and only stage break, going to be the one of Ryan Crook. So he's going to go ahead and grab that point, and we should see the yellow here momentarily. I believe it's at the end of the lap. So, yeah, Ryan Crooks, the man at the point, and by a good full 1 second over Brandon Mefford, Kevin McCann, Aaron Smith, and Ryan Honeycutt. It's kind of cool to see Ryan in that 18 continuing to march his way up through the field. He was a little bit further back, but he was able to pull himself back into P5.
Yeah, and I think a little bit of Honeycutt's thing was he was not going full tilt right off the start, so he dropped back a few positions. I mean, he's right back almost where he started. He qualified 7th. He's in 6th. So, I mean, he dropped a few positions and then let those guys that really wanted to go all out and burn their stuff out go out there. But we just ran another end of 20. Okay.
Yep, end of 20.
I was gonna say, I'm like, we just ran another lap. But yeah, I am Pete shocked that I didn't see anybody come down pit road before the end of the stage break to try to reverse where they're at, to try to reset the field by moving from the back to the front at the start of essentially stage 2.
Yeah, it's I gotta agree with you. Come on down pit road. 2 laps before the end of the stage break. Grab those tires. Come on out. Take it easy on the tires. More than likely, you're not going to go a lap down because it is a full 2.5 mile around this place. It's pretty safe to say you'd be all right. Only abuse the tires as much as you have to stay from going a lap down in case Ryan Crooks would be in the event that he's somewhere close to your back bumper. But yeah, he's going to come across, catch up to the pace car, which you see just now pulling off a pit road, and everybody will be coming on down for those Eagle Feel Goods and top it off. And it'll be interesting to see who opts to come down pit road first when they know they can make the rest of the distance. We'll have to see. But depending if Ryan Crooks comes off pit road first, more than likely we'll go ahead and scoop him up right quick. And Swats, since I was able to talk to him last time, I'll let you go ahead and talk to him. But we'll let him do what they've got to do first. That way he can dot all his I's and cross all his T's when he gets onto and comes off of pit road. So everybody that's out there, again, whether it's on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, or IROC TV, through your favorite Roku device, whether it's a streaming device or a TV, who do y'all have out there tonight? Who's it going to be? Obviously, I know who Mr. Galvin and Mr. Wells are choosing. Obviously, Nikki Short is calling for Team Short, and Jennifer Ray and Jessica Stubblefield calling for Stubbs. Who else? Who else do y'all have out there? Who is going to get up there and take this race away from so far what appears to be Ryan Crooks's possibly favorite track?
I don't know in my own sense, Pete. I'm watching this race and I'm just not sure. I want to say I would pick 3 different drivers. I would probably go with Aaron Smith as being one of them. I would like to say Honeycutt, and then I'm going to say Brandon Medford just because he's been able to work his way back into position and seems to be riding a very, very good wheel to catch back up to Ryan, because he was actually closing in on Ryan before we ended the stage.
Yeah, I think the only reason he might have been catching Ryan is because Ryan had to came across that lap truck. So we'll have to see. Everybody on pit road right now. Right side's up. Get ready for the left sides. Pack it tight, full of fuel. Come on back out. So far, it looks like the one's going to be the first one to exit his pit stall. So yeah, we'll go ahead and pull Ryan Crooks on up, and we'll chat with that driver right now.
All right, Ryan, we got you up in the booth here. It's Swats and Repeat. You've been on rails, seems like for over a week now with your win last week. What's it about this track here at Pocono that you're able to make the passes that you're able to do and now get out front, and does that clean air mean that much to you?
Yeah, love Pocono, love the way it's set up. Just love the high speeds and like the technicality of getting down into these corners. They're all so much different. You have turn 1 with so much banking and a huge bump down there. So you gotta, if you miss your mark a little bit, it'll kill your lap. Turn 2, you're carrying so much speed, and it's a smaller turn, and really is, as hard as you can go down there, as if you can get it to stick, that's where you make a lot of speed. I honestly feel like that's where turn 2 is kind of my best corner on the track, and turn 3 is a long sweeping corner, almost reminds me of Phoenix. And yeah, it's just a track that works out for me, and clean air is very key here, especially after a couple laps when the tires start to wear. Unless you can find a way to keep lap time and keep clean air to your nose, it's really hard to pass once they kind of get spread out.
I tell you, Ryan, we actually were close to like being on you for that turn 1, lap 1 incident. You really had to get on the brakes in order to miss, I believe it was the 46. And man, it was like within inches of your front bumper. How obviously you didn't hurt your tires too bad. You didn't lock them up. You seemed like you were pretty good. That was a good 14 to 16 lap run right there. I'm not going to ask you what your tires were, but how did your truck feel at the end of that long run?
Yeah, I felt good. Just trying to. I find it if you can kind of hang it out a little bit and try to heat the right rear up and keep it loose on a longer run, it does more so than trying to save the right front. So, yeah, that was really close. It was slow motion, and I started checking up a little bit, and I was like, oh, I got to check up way more. And thankfully, he kept sliding up. I definitely thought we were going to be caught up in it, but yeah, I felt really good on the long run. Just checked the tires out and warmed down a little bit, but I still had a lot of pace and felt really good in the truck. So we'll see. Got to get back to the lead here and keep clean air on her, and then we'll see how we end up.
All right, buddy, you're in the middle of 2 and 3 right now. Hashtag what turn 4. I'll go ahead and I'll get you back down. Good luck. Go get them. Hopefully it's not a repeat of turn 1, lap 1. Keep the shiny side up, sir.
Thanks, Pete.
You got it, buddy. All right, Kurt. So there you got it. I mean, driver 1, Ryan Crooks out of Madison, Alabama, doing a phenomenal job. Of course, again, he's got a bit of a following out there in the chat. Been a hell of a race for him. But we're going to go ahead and set it back right now. Let's go green flag racing.
Green flag. Absolutely, Pete. And somehow Gabriel Ellison got the lead. I'm not sure how that happened. I thought he did not come out before the 1, but somehow he was able to start out on the bottom line and start in the P1. So Gabe Ellison worked his way up through there. He was up, as I said, 5 positions before he got to the lead, and then worked his way or fell back to 3rd, but comes out with the lead and takes away Ryan Crook's clean air. We'll see if Ryan's able to get his way back past the 27 as he did earlier, and then that 70 has moved up another position, Pete, to P3. So Aaron Smith is somebody I'm going to be watching throughout this race to see how he contends with Ryan Crooks and the McCann brothers, who've been very dominant so far through the season.
I'll tell you what, Gabe Ellison, slick like a ninja, went down pit road on lap 19. So we both missed it, and he slid on in his number 27. So that puts him up 5 spots. We got a wreck in the back.
Big wreck.
All right, looks like maybe Doug Wysocki or Josh Funkhauser. It didn't give me an exact, so let's go back maybe with Ryan Honeycutt. Let's try with him. All right, so let's stop right there. It is looks like it is Ryan, so we'll switch this, or it looks like it's Ryan anyway. Let's switch. Yep, it is. Let's go ahead and rewind it right there, and yeah. Turn 3, it looks like it might be a self-spin. All right, so here we are in the middle of 2 and 3. You see 3 straight up ahead, just a line of trucks on the outside wall. Let's play it out. He's got the 7 to the outside here, Kurt.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure this is just a self-spin. A lot of guys avoided it, but I'm surprised they're on my board too. I don't have any reds. So nobody really hit anything. Nobody really made any contact. There was just it was a lot of chaotic avoiding of Ryan spinning there.
Absolutely. So Gabe Ellison, he is gonna be able to take full advantage of that. With him pitting a couple laps earlier, and he knows just how fast Ryan Crooks was. These couple laps, he's gonna be able to go ahead and lead a little bit. Nobody opting to come down pit road right there, at least within the top 12. It looks like for the most part, everybody is going to stay out. Let's see if maybe we can find Gabe Ellison right quick and have a quick word. I did not see him earlier, and I still don't. So it may just be that Gabe Ellison is not available to chat. We already spoke with Ryan Crooks. How about Aaron Smith? Is Aaron out there available? I don't see Aaron either. All right, Swats, you pick a guy, any guy.
I gotta look to see if they're in the chats. I'm gonna say bring up Medford.
Okay, which one?
Brandon.
Brandon, all right. Brandon Medford's repeat and Swats up in the booth. Actually, that did not work. Where'd he go? Whoopsie. Hold on. Let's try that one more time. The drag and drop did not work, so let's do that again.
Moved him to channel 6.
There we go, Mr. Medford. It's repeated and Swats up in the booth, bud. Got a quick copy in your number 83 Silverado.
Yeah, I got you.
Well, bud, you're looking all right. You're down 4 spots right now, running P6. Obviously, you got a really fast Silverado. How you feeling about that first long or decently long run after the turn 1 lap 1 issue?
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that to happen off the start there, but I was able to get the lead and lead a bunch of laps there, and I got sideways down there coming off of 1 and 2 there, which allowed these 2 guys to get ahead of me, and got back by the second place guy. You know, I felt pretty good about my truck. I thought I had something for that leader. I was still trying to save my stuff, and he was running pretty hard, but that clean air seems to matter quite a bit today, so I'm going to need a little bit of luck here. I got 5 guys ahead of me that are really good, so I'm going to give it the best I got.
Swats?
Yeah, Medford, I was kind of tracking you as you were going through there, and obviously you and the 27 were battling hard. You finally made your way past him after Ryan had broken away a little bit. To me, it looked like you were running him down. It might have been because of the lap down truck that Ryan had come up on, but your long run speed, you said you were conserving tires a little bit. Is that the focus, is tires?
I think early on in a run, it's going to be, you can't let these guys get too far ahead of you because they don't make mistakes. So I'm going to try to save a little bit. Hopefully the draft will help me with that. But you know, these trucks get tight behind another truck. So I don't know. We'll see how this plays out on the restart, and then we'll go get them.
All right, buddy. I'll go ahead. Now you were down there with the Quick brothers and your brother, right?
Yep.
All right, I'll get you back on down. Good luck, and yeah, that's a nice looking Spartan machine. Go get him, sir.
Thanks, guys.
You got it. You got it. All right, so Swats, there you go. Your pick, and he seems pretty confident. He sounds like he may have something for him in the long run. Knightstown, Indiana's own Zoe's Place Race for Riley, L's Place, and Lucky Finn Kids Talk, who he normally races for. So right now in the middle of turns 2 and 3, can he get back up there, Swats? What you think?
I mean, he's shown the long run speed. The question is does anybody else in front of him do the same thing he's doing to where then they're all battling each other on the same amount of conserved tire? The thing you want is the guys in front of you to go all out and burn their stuff off in those quick 10 laps and then start working your way back by them. It's a chess match. So I'm not sure. We'll see.
All right, green flag's back out. Barney's waving a rag like crazy. Down this very long front stretch. These stands, I tell you, Swats, I've been to Pocono many times. These stands are no fun to sit in whatsoever. They are all aluminum stands, and there is no shade whatsoever unless you pay the big bucks to sit up high. You could see the whole track from about row 15 or so. But man, yeah, these stands get very hot.
Yeah, I've had a couple tracks like that. Martinsville was like that one year when I went up there. The sun, it was kind of a midday start, so it was just kind of directly over. And those aluminum seats are not comfortable, especially if you've got nothing in the junk or nothing in the trunk to sit on.
Oh boy,
I unfortunately don't have that skill, I guess, or attachment to myself. Is nothing there. So
he said skill. Oh my lord.
Some people haven't, and I just don't. I got a flat butt, so sitting on a hard surface like that does not do well for me for a long race. But Martinsville, I did a lot of standing, so I'm guessing a lot of people will bring pads.
Well, talk about pads. The pad that caution's gonna fly again a little bit further in the back. I'm gonna guess possibly another spinner.
53's got damage.
Yep, 53 of Bill Hales. I see the left side, which usually means they've tagged that inside wall. Let's see if we got anything. Kyle Pendergraft, it's saying in that number 14. So let's go back with him.
He's like 2 or 3 trucks behind Bill Hills.
Oh, hold on to it. Everybody able to pretty much, let's go ahead and rewind that just a little bit. And stop and play. 15 outside, way down on the yellow line, just trying to hold on to it. Trying to race off the right rear, almost like what it seemed. Corrected it back to the right side, so we didn't collect the guy that's to his inside. And great job by him. I mean, he got a lot of damage, but he didn't take out the second half of the field. So Swats, now this is going to be interesting as we go ahead and bring it back live. This will be where I believe there's only 49 laps left. Everybody comes on down. I would think they would anyway. Come on down, grab that next set. Or do you think it's too early? I don't know. I think this is that iffy area.
Yeah, it's an iffy area. If you come down now, you'll still have to stop one time. If you stay out, you'll still have to stop one time. So, conserving fuel on these cautions and the laps that led after the stage break, that's a toss-up. I think if you're in the back half of the field, you make that decision and go down and grab tires and fuel and try to gain up some positions before that. But Pete, I mean, on these restarts, we've seen multiple mistakes coming into turn 1, coming out of turn 1. Turn 1's been the kind of a kryptonite for a lot of guys. So do you expect more cautions to come out to where you could pit now, a caution comes out, guys got to go down pit road a few laps later, and you move up front?
Well, we got some takers.
That's a toss-up.
Hey, got some takers. Looks like the 96. He's going to come on in. That's going to, David Trumbley, Stoney Benfield, Tim Schofield, Bill Hales, Doug Wysocki, and Kyle Pendergraft. All going to come on down. So that's from P15 on. So Gabe Ellison's going to continue to lead. Ryan Crooks, who was just trying to challenge for that top spot, is right back in P2. Aaron Smith, Brandon Mefford, and Kevin McCann now are top 5. Let's see if maybe we can find Kevin right quick. Let's see. Kevin McCann is repeating Swats up in the booth, but you got a copy in that double 3.
Yeah, how's it going?
I'm all right, bud. Well, you're sitting P5 right where you started. So nothing gained, nothing lost. Just a pretty solid night for you so far. How's it? What is the biggest difference in the way that these trucks feel in dirty air versus clean air in these tight corners here at Pocono?
I'd say it's not as bad as probably the Cup car is. It's a little pushy, but the draft, kind of makes it up here on the straights. So as you can see, the top 5-6 guys are all pretty much running the same speed. There's a little bit of a difference between tire saving strategy I'm noticing here tonight. So it'll be interesting to see if we can get some long green flag runs, how the tires hold up.
Okay, so I'm actually kind of glad that you brought that up. You got your brother right behind you right now in P6. He's up 3 spots from where he started. Is that kind of what we're seeing, both you and your brother trying to move up as the race goes on, or are you going to try to get up there and see just how the handling differs with just a touch of that clean air on the hood of your Silverado?
Well, track position is pretty important, but I think our strategy coming in here was tire saving. So we have a lap time we're trying to hit, and just want to get some green flag runs, and we think the race will come to us.
Swats, anything for 33?
Nothing really. Just you're the points leader. Obviously, you want to conserve that a little bit and not have a mistake, but I'm enjoying watching you and your brother try to figure this out. I like the strategy calls.
All right, yeah, thanks.
All right, buddy. I'll get you back down there with Brian and Tim Schofield. And yeah, as always, big fan of yours. Keep that shiny side up. Let's go.
I appreciate it.
You got it. All right. And
I'm not completely shocked, Pete, by those strategies.
Hold on, buddy. Hold on. It's not allowing me to. Okay, well, he went down on his own. Yeah, for some reason it let me pull him up, but it wouldn't let me put him on back. So all good. But yeah, he's back down. It's gonna be interesting to see what him and Big Brother Brian do in the second half, pretty much, of this race. Going through turns 2 and 3, about to enter 3 right now. Swats, did I ask you who you had for this race earlier? I don't think I did.
No, I kind of threw out 3 picks that I was really going to be watching. But, I mean, it's hard not to pick Ryan because he's been so fast. But if we're going to eliminate the fastest guy on track for both of us to not pick, I'm going with Aaron Smith. I think I've watched him enough to know how good he is. So I'm going to expect him to be battling there at the end.
Well, there we go. So, yeah, down a straightaway into turn number 1. Gabe Ellison able to jump on that throttle, on that loud pedal first. He's still got the 1, the 70, and the 83 side by side with the 3 of Brian McCann still sitting in P number 5. This is it's going to be interesting to see if the 27 can hold back Ryan. Ryan very, very fast in that long run, but I don't see where they're exactly nose to tail going into 2. And just as I say that, there they go.
Yeah, and I mean, Ellison has the fastest lap of the race with a 55.026, which is about a tenth faster than Ryan Crooks, who's sitting behind him. But that doesn't necessarily mean that Ryan doesn't have the same speed. It just means that Ryan may be holding back a little bit on his lap times. You heard Kevin talking about they're trying to hit a specific lap time to be able to conserve tire to have long green flag runs. Ryan's just as strategical and everything else, and as I say that, he ducks underneath the 27. He's going for the lead.
Yeah, Ryan Crooks going to look low, 27 right in that second groove, completely pinching the 1 down. 1's going to be able to wash up a little bit, open up that wheel, and he's going to be able to get to the inside of the 27. It's going to be a drag race all the way down the straightaway, going into turn 2. That's going to be tricky. Who's going to be able to get over that bump the best? Looks like maybe the 27 checked up just a little bit. Maybe try a little bit of a crossover, not enough speed. Put Ryan Crooks back to P1.
Yeah, and Ryan did that textbook. You could see him side draft just a little bit, and I know guys say it doesn't work, but Ryan clearly just did it. You could see he started to lose a little bit of time as they got to the straightaway, that Ellison was actually pulling away from him a little bit, but as he got closer and closer to the side of Ellison's truck, it drug him back to him, and that's essentially what side drafting does. So if anybody out there says side drafting does not work on iRacing, put that as a clip and watch it, because that does work.
Oh, yeah, it absolutely works. I don't know how many Talladega or Daytona. Whoa, 83 a little loose. Good checkup by the 3 of Brian McCann. 83 able to gather it all back up and not really lose too much time. He may lose a spot or 2 to the McCann brothers, but overall, great save. That could have been really bad if he had continued to go around.
Yeah, that would have possibly taken out some heavy hitters in the top 10. If he'd have come down and the 3 would have made contact, both of them being right there in the middle of the track, could have blocked the track, depending on which way they spun off from each other. So that could have been very, very detrimental to the rest of the field. But luckily, Medford can definitely drive a wheel for sure, because he held onto that thing and looked like a drift truck out there for a little bit, but able to straighten it back up. McCann able to let off and avoid the 83 and not make contact, and all kind of pushing, no worse for the wear there. The 70 definitely made up for it, though.
Yeah, he really did, and man, that absolutely could have been really bad.
Yeah, I mean, that could have been really bad for the first half of the field.
All right, so kind of walking through. I'll tell you what we'll do, Kurt. We're gonna give it a little bit of a crank it up session. We'll start off with our leader, Ryan Crooks. We're gonna go ahead and actually start off in the cockpit view with driver 1, and we'll work our way through the field again as you see him go all the way down to the apron, across the start stripe. Let's go. Crank it up. All right, a little bit of a crank it up session, working our way through most of at least the top 10 right now, riding along with Dylan Dellinger and this little hornet's nest that is back here, Swats. This is a hell of a battle between Vincent Short, Dylan Dellinger, Tim Schofield, Timothy Stubblefield, Bill Hales, and Joshua Funkhauser. These guys were side by side, couple rows, and continue to race this out. Just now cleaning it up a little bit and getting nose to tail, Swats.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised that Ryan went out here. He's running pretty fast laps. He's running faster laps than Elliston. He's running faster laps than Aaron Smith and both McCann brothers. Actually, Kevin's actually the fastest on track right now. But I'm kind of surprised he's running as fast as he is. But maybe it's just the way it looks because he's not pulling away from anybody. They're all kind of staying in line. They're not even diving down to the line like he is on the front straightaway anymore. They've all kind of just stayed in line and they're just drafting with each other, which can keep him up with the one. I'm surprised they're not gaining on him more though.
Well, something tells me that's gonna be a whole lot of draft. Just basically staying with him. You're talking about the 27 Gabe Ellis, and his tires are a couple of laps older than everybody else is behind him, including the 83 that we're on right now. Brandon Mefford, David Brown, Byron Jones. Now, he made up about 7 spots, and that really seems to be right where he's running. They say as you get further and further up in the race field, the competition gets just a little bit harder. But you still gotta congratulate Byron on this run so far. He's again sitting P7 P8 up 7 spots, battling with the 7 is what I meant to say, and doing his thing side by side. But yeah, I agree. Ryan Crook still leading in that one. 27 to Gabe Ellison, Aaron Smith, Brian McCann, Kevin McCann. Those brothers are nose to tail, and they are just staying in a line. But nobody so far able to do anything with the 1.
Yeah, I'm wondering if at some point here Ryan not having the draft really behind him, because these guys have pulled. He has pulled away a little bit. He's about a half second out in front of this group of guys that is drafting. If he is wearing off his tires, which he did say he wore them off a little bit, but he said he still had some rubber left for some long green flag runs. We've got, I mean, we're 21 laps into the run right now. We said 27 to 30 was the fuel mileage. The guys behind him have 22 as well, so they're all going to wind up having to pit about the same, but guys in the draft can conserve fuel. We've seen it at Talladega, super speedway racing style tracks, where guys can be half throttle and stay in that draft and stay with the guy in front of them. And that might be why they're not running him down also, is they're all kind of back there just drafting with each other, but they're able to keep up the speed to stay with Ryan.
Hey, it could also be the difference between Ryan Crook's tires and Gabe Ellison. Again, Gabe went down 2 laps before everybody else around him. So is the 27 on those 2-lap older tires? Is he holding up the rest? While the 1, he's got the advantage of the clean air. He's got the advantage of 2-lap newer tires. While the 27, he's keeping the rest at bay. It's hard, very very hard to pass here at Pocono. And are they just not able to get the run on the 27? That's about my only guess.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at the lap times. I mean, he's not Ellison's not that far off compared to what everybody's running right behind him. So I'm kind of wondering if it's not just that his tires are a little older. I mean, yeah, he ran 2 laps, but really one of those was just a pace lap essentially. The other one he might have just ran about half throttle really, because it was over by the time he got done with his lap. To where then he just paced the lap to catch back up to the field. So I don't really think his tires are hurt that much. Two laps is really not that big of a deal, I would think. But, I mean, maybe I'm wrong. But I just feel like everybody behind Ryan's kind of just staying in the draft, conserving fuel and tires to where maybe they can go an extra lap.
Well, the 3 of Brian McCann thought about trying the inside of the 27, just did not have the run, had to fall right back in line. Now there's 1 truck on the inside. Again, that's going to be the 33 of Kevin McCann. 33 and the 3 nose to tail. You see the 70 and the 83 back there. 70 of Aaron Smith, very, very strong. We've seen him before. And then, of course, the 83 of Brandon Medford that we spoke with. They're both, 5 of those guys going to drop back in single file. Just as I say that, 83 thought about ducking out, but he would have had a lap truck to contend with. And that little bit of an issue with that lap truck just broke these guys apart. Now 27 with a little bit of, it looks like about a truck length and a half back to the 3, and then same thing back to Brian McCann, Kevin McCann, and Aaron Smith. So a little bit of a space between these truckers rather than them all being nose to tail.
Yeah, Pete, and the other thing too about this, with these guys being in line, being able to conserve a little bit of fuel, maybe going an extra lap compared to what Ryan's able to go. We've seen it at super speedway tracks where draft is that relevant to the speed that these guys can carry, that if you pit by yourself and the 5, 6, 7 guys that are in a line essentially stay out an extra lap, they're all pulling faster lap times than Ryan by himself. That could be a chance for them to eliminate Ryan from this group. If he pits by himself, he has to pay attention to that mirror. If he pits by himself and these guys stay out a lap, they could run, a half second faster almost than him by himself. So if I'm any one of those guys and they're in chats together, I would be communicating like, hey, let's conserve a little bit. Let's stay in line. Let's not try to make passes. But it doesn't look like it. I mean, Kevin is in a chat we know for sure with his brother Brian, and he's looking low underneath the 3 right now. So I'm kind of surprised they're not hanging together and staying in a line and kind of conserving to go an extra lap, because that would eliminate Ryan from the group.
Absolutely. Or I mean, the 3 tried to get on by the 27, wasn't able to make it work. Maybe he said, hey, you know what? Go ahead and you give it a shot. And if you open up that hole, I'll try to follow you through. Could very well be what this is. And look at this. Here it is, going into the tunnel turn, 33 down low.
I just don't know if that's the smartest move right now with the strategy. I understand making the pass and getting the position, but if you don't make it quick enough, which he's not going through the turn he just tried it, now he's going to go through the next turn. We'll see if he's able to make that pass there, but this is pulling them further and further back from Ryan. I'm watching the ticker go, and they've lost almost 4/10 since Kevin started to make that pass on the 27, and it's still falling, Pete.
3 wide, going across the start stripe. 3, 33, 27. We saw 3 wide, turn 1, lap 1. What's going to happen here? There it is, 27 up high. Going to try to pinch 20, 33 down. 33, no choice. 3 different lanes all the way through turn 1. Very, very tight turn. 3 able to make it work. Down the backstretch, they're going to stay 3 wide.
Yeah, who's going to stay in it for turn 2? We watched 3 wide racing go through turn 2 earlier. The middle car bailed out. I think Brian just bailed out of it. I don't think he thought Kevin would bail out, and I don't think he knew anything about the 27 bailing out. So he made the wide decision there, right back into the same position where he was at. But he's going to try again with the 83. I really don't like this, B. I really think if these guys want a chance at getting past Ryan or getting him out of this group because he's been so fast, there's no reason to make passes right now. We know there's a pit stop coming soon. So why not just stay in line, pit together, let Ryan pit by himself, and just pull away from him?
Absolutely. The McCann brothers really putting on a show. 3's going to go ahead and try underneath the 27 again. The last time they tried this, the 83 Brandon Mefford, he went with the McCann brothers. All right, he knows those guys are fast. He decided to go ahead and duck on down. Now the 83 up behind the 27, all but shoving that tailgate up towards the back end. And 70, so it looked like 70 might have got a little loose, but so far, so good. Jessica Stubblefield out there in chat saying, come on, Tim, let's go. Talking about Tim Stubblefield back here in this number 79 Spartan Transportation LLC Silverado, up 9 spots, sitting P12. He is absolutely trying. His fastest lap right now is 55.4. So he's a good 4/10 off of the times that the leaders are running. But all in all, not too bad. Again, up 9 spots. So started 21st up to P12. I mean, if he continues to run right there, able to pick up 1 or 2 more spots, it could still be a pretty good points night anytime you could break into the top 10, especially with the strength of field of these truckers.
And he was one of the drivers that did pit earlier as well on that caution. So I'm kind of surprised that those guys have not made bigger moves up through the field. The guys that we were watching there from 15th on back that decided to pit, they're still 12th on back. So really they haven't made any big moves or, came up through the field. I would have expected them to be on fresher tires, about 9-lap fresher tires, 10-lap fresher tires almost, to work their way through the field, but they just haven't.
I tell you what, look at this gap now between Ryan Crooks, Kevin McCann, Mefford, Ellison, and Brian McCann. I mean, he's got a good 1.6 back to Kevin in that 33. We spoke with him. He said he was just going to try to conserve. He wanted to make sure that he had tire for the long run. Working lap 52 of 80, 28 more laps to go. If these guys pit, they can make it from here. But when do you pit, Swats? When do you go down pit road, grab those 4 brand new Eagle Feel Goods, come on out, get on a tear, and see if you can run off some more time, especially if you got a good green flag truck. We saw the one of Ryan Crooks really kind of extend his lead when he ran a good 15 to 18 laps after that very, very early caution. So we know that he's got a pretty decent green flag long run truck. When do you come down pit road?
But this is what I was talking about. There's 2 different strategies right now for this group of cars that is lined up for the most part. They can either watch Ryan go down pit first and stay out in the draft and pull further away from Ryan, or they can watch Ryan go past pit road and all come down before Ryan does an extra lap early and then come back out all together and be in the draft again. he's kind of stuck where he's at. He's got to either pit when they pit, or he's got to go an extra lap when they do pit. So I don't know. If he pulls the trigger, I don't know if everybody comes with him. If it was me in that second group behind him, I would convince that group, stay in line, go an extra lap after Ryan pits, because we've got the draft and he won't. Or I'd be convincing that whole group, let's pit as soon as Ryan goes past pit road. We know he's not going to pit. We'll all dive down pit road, come out, and draft with each other to pull either direction, or either choice pulls them in front of Ryan, because Ryan would be by himself. So Ryan's kind of stuck waiting to see what happens.
All right, take a quick look, see just how much the track has changed since the start of the race. Right now, 77-degree air temp, so it has come down a couple of degrees. But how about the track temp? I think I'd mentioned earlier, it's like 104 down to 90 degrees, or that might have been in practice. But yeah, down to 90-degree track temp. And look at this, Kurt. A lot of the track is covered under those Pocono clouds. Again, this track way up high, just outside of Bear Creek, North Carolina, right? Bear Creek, Pennsylvania. This track is literally at the very top of a mountain, between Route 115, right, very close to 180, going through Blakesley and all that. And yeah, just about the entire track is now under cloud cover.
Yeah, it's not just cloud cover either, Pete. It's actually almost 5:30 p.m. iRacing track time. So it's not just cloud cover. It's the sun's passed, so it's starting to become shady because of clouds, and it's getting darker.
Well, there you go. So working lap 55 of 80 laps starting to wind down, and yeah, so far Ryan Crooks still has not pit. He pretty much held serve with the lap time, still right between 1.5, 1.7, give or take, as he's actually going to go ahead and extend that lead. And that's, yep, there you go. Kevin McCann, Brandon Medford, Brian McCann, David Brown, and Chris Wally all coming on down pit road for their what could be one and only pit stop before this is all said and done. So now what does Ryan Crooks do? He knows that they're going to come on out. They're going to be bad fast, a whole lot faster than he is. If I'm Ryan right now, I'm thinking coming on down pit road. I'm telling my spotter, telling my spotter, hey, let the rest of the field know that I'm coming, whatever the case may be. But you cannot wait. He's got to do it right here, right now, or maybe one more lap just to see if he might possibly catch a lucky caution. But coming through turn 3 right now, what's he doing? He's staying out, Kurt.
He's staying out. Yeah, I mean, lap times, the fastest lap of the race right now is still Gabe Ellison at a 55.026. Ryan just ran a 56.816. So almost a 2-second fall off, Pete, from the tires. So that group that came down, they did exactly what I thought they would do, which is pit together. And they waited for Ryan to go past pit road. With his gap that he had on them, they had plenty of time to see that he went past pit road, dove down there, going to grab tires and fuel, going to come out and draft together 5, 6, 7 cars or trucks. I think that's the smartest move. You have to get off strategy from what Ryan's doing. You can't follow him throughout this race, because you're just going to wind up finishing behind him, because you're not making any changes or differences or throwing a curveball in there, and they just did it. Ryan staying out an extra lap just threw me off a little bit.
Yeah, riding around right now with a brand new driver in P number 2, talking about the 15, now up 11 spots, the one and only Vincent Short, and it looks like Ryan Crooks going to come on down pit road. Locked him up. You saw a little bit of tire smoke right there. So does Vincent stay out to lead a lap? Yes, he does. So the retired Air Force veteran, he's going to be able to lead a lap here at Pocono, grab a point, and man, we know just how valuable points are, no matter what track you go to. And how about Timothy Stubblefield back here in this number 79 from Lebanon, Tennessee again? Stub Racing. He's going to take P2. Kyle Pendergraft in that number 14. He's going to be P number 3. Nikki Short and Jessica Stubblefield kind of liking what they're seeing right now. But hell yeah, how about that? Vincent Short leading the way here in the Pocono Mountains.
Yeah, Pete, and Ryan's coming out of pit road right now. Kevin McCann just passed him. So, I mean, that's the difference right there was that lap. They were back, 1.7 seconds or something
Yep.
like that when they decided to pit. And he came out by himself, surprisingly. He didn't have anybody with him, which is definitely surprising because I figured they would all come out the same. But they might have had some issues on pit road, as it looks like Brian actually suffered the worst because he's still back in ninth. So I don't think he made up as much time as everybody else on the pit stop as Kevin did, but there's the difference. That extra lap of fresh tire compared to Ryan staying out an extra lap, there's the gap. I mean, it was a 2-second drop off for tires. He was back 1.7, and he's out front of Ryan right now by, 0.3, 0.4? So there's the gap difference right there.
How about Kevin McCann last lap? Going to Plaid, running a 54.98, and then Aaron Smith says, "Oh yeah, hold my beer." 54.84, fastest lap. Only a couple drivers so far able to get down into the 54s now that they know that they've got the tire to go the distance. They don't have to take care of the tires quite so much. So Aaron Smith so far putting up the fastest lap, but Kyle Pendergraft right now leading, and he's got a good 15 seconds plus on Kevin McCann when he last came down pit road on lap 31. So he's got to try to maybe hope that he gets a caution and can keep just a little bit of this track position. Other than that, it's the 33 of Kevin McCann. I mentioned a little bit ago, ran a 54.98 just before Aaron Smith did. But how about Ryan Crooks now? 54.69. 0.2 faster than both Kevin and Aaron. I gotta stop putting people's names together, Swats. Pretty soon I'm going to be calling you and your brother by mixing those two. I'll be saying Swatalack or something like that. But yeah, very, very mixed up field now.
Yeah, Ryan and Aaron both going tit for tat of who can run down the fastest lap. But I mean, we're not surprised by Ryan's fast lap, but I think Pendergraft, I mean, to me, I get the idea of the strategy, but at this track, you don't go a lap down usually from pitting. So even if a caution comes out right now and he has to pit and the other guys don't, he's still going to move all the way back to at least 16th or 17th because that's how many lead lap cars we have on the track. So really this does nothing for him. I don't understand it, but everybody has their own strategy. That's the benefit of racing, is everybody can be different. You got to do something different to move up. So I just don't think it's going to have the benefit even if a caution does come out. If he pits right now, he's still going back to 17th. So really there's no difference on what happens here. But for the rest of the field, Kevin, I'm not surprised. Like I said, he was the smart one to come down pit road with a group of guys. I'm concerned that the rest of the guys did not come out with him and what happened there. But Ryan is running down Kevin back down with these extremely fast laps that he is laying down. He's been the fastest on track now 4 times over the last 5 laps.
You got to wonder. Yeah, I'm looking back right now from Kevin McCann as he's taking the lead because Kyle Pendergraft has gone down pit road, and it looks like we are going to have a battle for the lead. The one decided nothing. He wasn't going to try it right there, but he's flat digging. He wants that lead back. He wants that clean air. He wants it all to be able to go ahead and try to pull away. But right now, he is just tucked under the rear spoiler of the 33 of Kevin McCann going through the tunnel turn. And I got to wonder if Ryan Crook's just kind of biding his time. He's there. He's just got to stay in the draft. Doesn't need to abuse the right front. Go a little bit lower than the 33, maybe in the corner or something like that, so you're not fighting that dirty air too much. And wait until that long run speed you have comes into play. Lap car almost caused a little bit of an issue there coming up off of 3.
Yeah, and put Ryan down for 5 out of the last 6 laps of being the fastest on track. So I'm just concerned Ryan's going too hard. Kevin is about 2 to 3 tenths slower than Ryan's lap times. That lap time there, they were close, but that lap truck, I think, played a factor in that. But Ryan also has the draft on Kevin too, so I'm concerned that Ryan's going a little too hard. We talked about Kevin or he told us that he was always looking for a specific lap time to have a long run truck. So I don't know. I think Ryan's obviously one of the fastest trucks on track. It just depends on the tires. And as you see that, Ryan made the move, made the pass, and Kevin said, not today, and went right back by him. So
yep.
I don't know. This is two completely different strategies, obviously, but pit cycle, how they're driving their trucks. And Ryan says, well, I'm not taking second. I'm going back by you. And he goes right back by the 33 for first position. These guys are going back and forth, and all it's going to do is drag everybody else closer to him, Pete.
Yeah, absolutely. So crossover after crossover, and you saw that little bit of a side draft that the one was able to pull 33, tags the wall just a little bit. Not too bad, though. But, yeah, and you kind of side drafted him, and then you saw the one pull down track, so the 33 couldn't side draft him back. One's able to take the point, dumping all that dirty. Yeah, 33, he is trying. He is pushing for all it's worth, and you see the rear end stepping out just a little bit. 33 able to control it, though, and stay right there with the one. Thank you very much for everybody that just joined. I saw all of a sudden that number jump, so whether you're out there on Facebook, Twitch, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, or through your favorite Roku TV or Roku streaming device, welcome aboard. This is the IROC Challenge Series, live from Pocono Raceway. We've had 2 cautions, I believe, on the night. So far, it's been a great race. Couple of different leaders, and the one, though, he's back at the point. And Kurt, that he's shown just how much that clean air means as he's starting to gap the 33 now by at least a half second.
Yeah, and I don't know if you can do the chase mode on the 33, Pete, but you can see the spoiler is rippled from the damage. It didn't even look like he touched the wall that hard, but it definitely did something to his truck. He's got a little bit of a bow, almost mid-center, the third brace from the right. There's a bow between the second and third brace on that spoiler, so I don't know if that's affecting his truck. We've seen his truck step out a few times. But I mean, he could be pushing it also, but he's definitely got some damage to that right rear that to me looks like it's really affecting it.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, a little bit of like you said, a little bit of a ripple, a little bit of a bow on the right-hand side. It's pushed up just a little bit, like he just caught the fin just a little bit and pulled it back, where the rest of it is pretty much straight. But yeah, on a track that is extremely aero sensitive, that could cost you quite a bit, and that could be all Ryan needs to extend the gap now up to 7/10. So Crook's starting to pull away, and if we look ahead from Brian McCann, he should start running his brother down here pretty soon.
Yeah, I mean, Medford's about three seconds back from Kevin McCann. Brian McCann is right there with Brandon Medford. Actually, sorry, they just swapped positions on my board. But so Brian is actually 3 seconds back from Kevin. We've got 14 to go, Pete. I don't know if he runs down Kevin. Kevin's kind of sticking with Ryan. He's got the draft from him. He's about 0.2 slower than Ryan Crooks, but that draft is definitely keeping him within distance of Ryan. So I don't know if Brian and Brandon and Aaron can make up the time, as they're about 0.2 separated between the three of them.
So the 33, he tagged the wall a little bit. He has a little bit of right rear damage. The one of Ryan Crooks, kind of staying now back under half a second. You can see there on the scoring pylon, it fluctuates just a little bit. Did Kevin McCann see a spot or two on the track, since he was able to pull a crossover in a couple spots? Did he find an area where Ryan Crooks is vulnerable and just needs to be there for that spot? I mean, Brian McCann, Kevin's brother, a little bit further back by about 2.7. Can Brian McCann, Aaron Smith, and Brandon Medford, can they all draft their way up to try to catch up to these guys? 13 laps to go. Is it going to be an unlucky 13 for the one? Is the 33 going to be able to work his way up with a little bit of help from Big Brother? What is going to happen? This is about to get really, really good.
Yeah, Medford just slipped from fourth back. He just got passed by Aaron Smith and Gabriel Ellison, and Byron's actually closing in on him now. So I don't know if Medford had a slip, but looking at Crooks and McCann, I think Ryan messed up turn 2, and that's why Kevin made a big run. And I think he hit it perfectly. So it gave him a giant run down the short chute to turn 3 that closed the distance back up. So Ryan talked about how you've got to hit these corners perfectly each time, or else it messes up almost your entire lap.
Yep.
But Pete, I'm actually hearing guys shift in the corners in turn 1. So that's kind of surprising. I didn't think people were going to shift, but I just heard a couple of different people now that I've cycled through there in turn 1 that are shifting. Medford was one of them. Even Kevin sounded like he shifted in turn 1.
All right, so let's jump on board with Kevin McCann right now. Jump into the cockpit with him, and let's see here. Going through turn 3, does he shift up off of 3? Nope, he's still in the same gear. So under the start stripe right now, 11 laps to go. Oh, caution's out. Neil Quick. Yep, Neil Quick a little bit further in the back. So let's kind of widen this out and find out exactly what happened with driver of the Deuce. And let's see a little bit further back. He's already on pit road. Let's find out what happened. Let's switch this on over. Let's go. And he is already on the apron, so we're going to have to go ahead and rewind this the old-fashioned way. I'm
kind of confused on this because I'm seeing Neil Quick entered pit lane, exited pit lane, entered pit lane, left pit lane, and then entered and left, and then entered and left, and then crashed. So I'm not sure what happened there. Either SDK is completely jumbled up on the 2 truck, or he was having some issues, because once he crashed it, he jumped right to pits again. So I don't know what was going on there with the 2.
Yeah, not 100% sure either. That's up to race control and the one and only Sam Maxwell. He'll play it out, figure it out, and they can discuss that just a little bit later with the one and only Neil Quick. But Neil, with that issue, down 9 spots in 21st. So very unfortunate. Let's go ahead and bring it back live. All right, so there you see the 2 on pit road. Ryan Crooks continues to lead. Kevin McCann right now sitting P number 2. We talked to both of those guys earlier. Let's see if we can't pull big brother Brian McCann on up and see what he thinks. See if he's gonna, maybe give a little bit of support to younger brother Kevin, or what he's thinking. Maybe he can go for it himself. Brian, it's Repeated SWAT's up in the booth, but you got a copy in that 3.
Hey, I do.
Well, I tell you, this race just took a big old change. The 2 and Neil had a little bit of an issue. Not quite sure what it was. He was on and off pit road, or at least that's what the timing and scoring showed. But this closes you up huge. You were fighting a 2 to 2.5 second gap between your brother and Ryan, with right along with Aaron Smith and Brandon Mefford. It looks like you're going to go ahead and duck on down pit road, so we're going to let you do what you got to do. Get all your switches, knobs, and all that dialed in. If you want us to be quiet a moment, we can certainly do that for you. All right, so you safely pulled into your pit box. What do you have for those top guys? Anything?
Yeah, I don't know about Ryan. He's pretty quick out there, so I think the race is going to be behind him. Give me 1 second here. I don't know if you guys caught it earlier, but we took it, or I took it 3 wide.
Yes, you did.
For no reason at all. And, Kevin was not so great words in the group chat here, so I'm definitely out here for the win and for the camera, so we'll make it pretty.
Yeah, man, it's been a great race. I was commenting on your looks like you switched up your profile picture. You got the old Iceman aviators on, and you look cool, calm, and collected. And I love your saying, when in doubt, go faster. So when in doubt, can you go faster and grab this W? So I'm going to put you on the spot.
Yeah, it'll be tough. Track position is huge, but here with what we're going to go green with 6 laps to go, there's going to be some beating the bank, and I can already feel it.
All right, Brian. I'll go ahead and I'll get you back down with Kevin and Tim Schofield. Good luck, sir. Definitely, you know I'm a fan, and maybe we'll be talking to you again a little bit later for a podium spot, sir.
Yeah, man. Thanks.
You got it. All right. So Swats, anything he say surprised you?
No, not really. I'm surprised he caught himself out for going 3 wide, but I really would have liked to know why he went 3 wide and why they didn't decide to draft together to pull further away from Ryan when they came out. And I would have liked to know what happened on pit road that Kevin came out by himself without the entire group that he pitted with. So I don't really know what happened. I tried to go back and look, and it didn't look like anything happened on pit road. Their times were almost identical. If anything, Brian's was actually a faster pit stop. He just didn't get to the box quick enough, or didn't get out of it quick enough, or didn't get through the turn 1 apron quick enough either. But Pete, I really think Brian's right. I think we're about to see some heavy aggressiveness through these next couple laps, especially from the 33, 70, and 3 to try to get past and put the 1 behind them and have that dirty air. The 12 staying out with Tim Schofield kind of surprises me because he's on 17-lap older tires. I think this is just a jump for him to try to get a top 10 finish, because I have a feeling he's going to fall through this field like a rock.
Well, I mean, on his bio it says driving a race car is like dancing with a chainsaw. Well, he's got a bunch of buzzsaws right behind him right now. He was last on pit road lap 56. Everybody else is on pit road lap 71. It could just be all about leading a lap right here, gaining a point, and he just knows that they're going to be passing him left and right. But that's a nice looking number 12 Spartan transportation machine. See exactly what he's capable of doing. Like to top the pace car are out. See Shad Swatsworth out there in the chat over on the YouTube side says, what it do? Well, Swats, we're about to find out what all these guys are capable of doing. Barney's got them in view. We're going to be coming on down with 7 laps remaining. Swats, let's go.
I would get the fireworks ready to go off, Pete, because we're going to go into turn 1. If we thought lap 1, turn 1 was bad, I think we might see some pretty aggressive passing or trying to pass in this turn 1.
Absolutely. We saw him go 3 wide. Yeah, you see the 12 duck on down. He knows what's behind him. They are side by side going into 1. Woo! Way loose. Look at Ryan up there in that 1. Way up by the wall. He flat threw that thing in and had to catch it. Move the 33 of Kevin McCann to the lead, up 4 spots. Ryan Crooks P2, Aaron Smith P3, Gabe Ellison, and Brian McCann. They're not done yet.
No, and even further through the field, they're still too wide in most cases, trying to make past the 19s, trying to pass the 83, completes the pass on the outside through turn 2. They're going to go into turn 3 now separated, but there's a lot of guys even further back than that. The 12 is falling through this field. He's already fallen out of the top 10, Pete, and he's got more and more trouble coming behind him as the 14 of Kyle Pendergraph is trying to go around him now. But they're stacked too wide. About 4 rows past the 12 truck.
Yeah, looking at all that right now, all kinds of issues. A little bit further in the back, they were 3 wide, then double wide, but right now all single.
Big change up front, Pete.
Big change up front. Ryan Crooks back to the lead. So put the 33 back to P2. Aaron Smith right back where he started. Isn't it funny, Kurt? 74 laps into a race here in the Pocono Mountains, and you're back, you're up, you're back, you're up, and then Aaron Smith right back where he started at P3, and is the only driver in the field that can actually claim that.
Yeah, to me it would be frustrating, but I mean he's 3rd. It's not like he's 10th. And started 10th and ends up being 10th. So not that frustrating for him, but Ryan Crooks is on another level right now. Between last week's race that we watched, Pete, where he was just on rails compared to everybody else, and I even joked after the race that iRacing was going to check his truck for NOS or something being put into that truck because it was bad fast. And right now, the one is looking like he brought the same truck from Dover, maybe just a little bit of adjustments to it for sticking on this track, but it is just ridiculous how fast he is and how quickly he made that move to get around the 33 after going really, really high in turn 1.
I'll tell you what, Ryan Crooks not relaxing whatsoever. Driver 1 just went ahead and ran the fastest lap yet again. So that just goes to show that Ryan Crooks, he is up on the wheel, elbows up. He's all about that throttle pedal. He knows what he's got. He knows what he's got to do. Very, very content in his truck. The man just put down a 54.6. We're talking 2+ tenths over everybody else in the field. And it's not a draft lap. He's leading these guys, putting down that kind of a lap. Kurt, I got to imagine that is like all adrenaline, hitting your marks, doing everything you got to do, and just hoping that you're not abusing it too much too early. 4 laps here in the Poconos. That's still, several miles to go.
Oh yeah, that's that coveted perfect lap I think that he just ran. 54.6. I mean, that's 2/10 faster than the lap that he had held prior for the fastest lap. So I don't know how he's able to do it and how he's able to stick the tires to the pavement and get going, but it's looking like Ryan's race again to lose. If he messes up in a turn like he did earlier in turn 2 where Kevin was able to get back to him, if he messes up in one turn again, as he told us, if you mess up in one turn, it messes up almost your entire lap. So it's going to come down to these final few turns that we've got left over with 3 to go as we go into turn 1 again, Pete. The lap down truck in the way.
Yeah, lap down truck in the way. You even saw the one of Ryan go on and try to grab the draft of that 46. He was able to grab it just a little bit. 46 on the inside wall, trying to stay out of the way. But it definitely broke up the top 3, top 5. The 70 of Aaron Smith now is still P3. Gabe Ellison P4. Brian McCann P5. Brandon Medford, Byron Jones, Chris Wally, Doug Wysocki, and Kyle Pendergraft. But how about Chris Wally back here in the 8th spot in this number 51, right behind Byron Jones? He is right now the biggest mover, up 17 spots into P number 8. So big night for this 51. It's going to pay off. These points are going to pay dividends for the main league admin and owner.
Yeah, every point matters. And right now, Kevin McCann's looking at another point being right to the lead. He's closed the gap on Ryan a little bit each turn there on that one lap. So I don't know if Ryan maybe messed up just a little bit. You missed it by half a foot, Pete, and they can really mess up a lap. So Kevin definitely gained some time, but now it looks like Ryan hit turn 1 perfectly again, and they're headed down to turn 2. We'll see if Ryan can hold it through here, and if Kevin can make up some time finding a spot where he can be a little bit faster than
we
Ryan
might have a caution. 46 has come to a complete stop, and he's still on the track. I don't know what's going to happen with this. It looks like he was able to bring it on in. No caution. 2 laps to go.
I'm surprised iRacing didn't throw a caution because he was on track. So luckily, no caution for Ryan Crooks. He doesn't have to deal with that green-white checkered again 2 weeks in a row. But Kevin McCann doing everything he can to get to the bumper of the 1. 27-3, all trailing the 70 right now, trying to get to him, trying to draft up to the 33. Will one of those 3 pull out here as we're on the final lap, Pete?
Yeah, final lap down the backstretch. You see again the 33 swerving all over, trying to keep right in the draft of the 1 in case the 1 should make a mistake. But the man has had glitch energy in his veins all race long. It seems like that has absolutely kept them off. 33 continues to try to push down the short chute going into turn 3 for the last time. 3 a little wide. Is it the nerves? What's it going to be? Nope. It's going to be Ryan Crooks across the line, and he will win here at Pocono.
Kevin McCann coming home with second. Aaron Smith being able to hold off the 27 and 3. 27 trying to break up the lap time of the 70 by trying to go low on him, and it did not work for him. 3 almost made the pass on the 27 before they got to the line. But top 3, Pete, Ryan Crooks, Kevin McCann, and Aaron Smith. It's 3 drivers I said to watch for sure. Ryan, I don't know. I don't know if Ryan was here last season because Brian
Nope, he wasn't.
McCann won. He wasn't?
No.
Yeah, so I think Ryan's putting the entire league on notice. And he's somebody, Pete, I've looked at for a long time in Shake and Bake and a few other leagues where any league he's in, he is a nightly chance of winning that race.
Absolutely. You saw Byron Jones come on up, show a little bit of love to the tailgate of that one. And here comes the 51 of Chris Wally. He's going to come flashing on by. But Ryan Crooks, he's going to bring it back to the start stripe. We're going to go ahead and clear the boards for this driver. That way he can completely put down one hell of a celebration. Ryan Crooks, bring it on in. The floor is completely yours. Burn the house down, sir. Let's go. There you go. There you go. He's got that front brake bias dialed in, and he's just having fun now, Kurt.
Yeah, somebody might want to teach him how to start his burnout because he spun it right into the wall. But you think after as many wins as he's had and burnout celebrations that he's had, he'd have these things down pat. But that was not a good start off to his burnout. But he definitely ended it greatly by just whipping it around in a tight circle there on the finish line.
There you go. Going to park it right next to the PoconoRaceway.com sign, not too far from the start stripe. And again, big congratulations to Ryan Crooks in this Spartan Transportation Silverado. One hell of a race. You see the EMGG logo on the frame, and what better way to end it all than by popping the motor. All right, we will be right back with our top three. Don't nobody go nowhere. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have Ryan Crooks, Kevin McCann, but we're going to start with P3, driver 70 in his Silverado, the one and only Aaron Smith. We will be right back.
I can go with two. It don't matter.
All right, guys, we are back, and yeah, we're gonna start off with driver 70 and his Silverado, talking about Aaron Smith. Aaron, one hell of a race, kind of eventful yet uneventful for you. Starting P3, finishing P3, bottom rung on the podium. Man, I imagine the question around this community is, what do y'all have to do with Ryan Crooks, or what more do y'all need in order to get on up there and be a little bit more of a threat come championship weekend? It's we got a long way to go, a lot of different tracks to visit. The cream always rises to the top. You seem like you're always there. What is that one piece you think you might be missing, sir?
I'm not too sure. It looked like he drove pretty hard into turn one there on the first lap of the last restart. I was worried he was going to spin it down into the field there, but he got a really good run and just pulled away from us there at the end. And not too sure. He was a force to be reckoned with last time I was out here in Road of America. And he should have a pretty solid rest of the season ahead of him. I'm pretty sure he's going to be the champion by the end of this. He's been strong every time I've seen him, so I'm looking forward to seeing what he'll be able to do for the rest of this season. But as far as I'm concerned, as long as I keep putting on performances like this, I think I should be all right. I'm not here running full time, so I'm just trying to get as many wins as I can before the season's over, and I was just one step too late on this one.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and pull up the schedule. After tonight, we got Dega next week for 75 laps, followed by a little bit of dirt action at Bristol, and then Gateway. With those next three tracks being, not being full time, is there a track in those three that you're looking forward to if you'll be there, or is there a different track in the remaining 14 weeks that we've got here in season 6 of the Challenge Series that you're looking forward to more than others?
Well, Bristol Dirt is the only one of those three I'll be able to make, but I'm looking forward to that one. I've had that one circled on my calendar for a while, and I'm looking forward to seeing how that plays out. If I keep my truck clean for the whole race, it should be a pretty solid showing there.
All right, Aaron, of course, last but not least, any quick friends, family, sponsors you need to get out there before we bring Kevin McCann on up, sir?
Yeah, I'd like to thank all the folks at the IROC Challenge Series for putting this show on, and all of y'all at IROC TV for putting these broadcasts up, and all the folks for watching. Looking forward to getting back out of the Bristol Dirt.
There you go. All right, so again, congratulations, and we'll see you again when we go slinging some mud. Kurt, we got Kevin McCann up, and he's ready, sir.
Kevin, we bring you back to the booth. I know we talked to you early in the race there, and you were talking about hitting specific lap times and things like that to be able to try to get out in front of Ryan. You were able to do that, and you guys kind of went back and forth. It was exciting to watch. Pete was right on it. You guys were swapping position back and forth every time you guys made a pass. What was it that determined the ending here? Obviously, you made some contact. We looked at your truck. You had a little bit of a ripple on the spoiler. Did that affect your truck? And then what did you need at the end there after that last restart?
Yeah, I think it affected me a little bit, but by that point I had used up my tires, so I didn't have anything for him anyway at that stage in the race. So I went down in the last caution there, had like 12 seconds of optional repairs, so I think it had a little bit of an impact on the straightaway speed, aero wise, but I think the biggest difference tonight was tire management. Like I said, the track just changed so much throughout the race, so I was just trying to adapt with it and keep that right front happy, and I think Ryan did that better than anyone else tonight, so that's why he had that pace he had.
All right. Well, I mean, I can't disagree there, but I mean, is it really? I know you've got a win. I know Pendergraph got the win early in the season. Ryan won last week. He's now on 2 wins in a row here. Is there any kind of regathering or thought process or strategy process between your group of guys that you race with in your chats to try to knock Ryan off this run he's on?
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely proven himself, be a strong competitor here, and someone to look out for here in the championship. That's always fun, coming in. Most of us guys have raced together for years now, and then we've got a newcomer in here, so that's wicked fast. So we're trying to figure out what are his weaknesses, because there's a few different things in the schedule here. I think we've got a dirt race, maybe a road course. definitely some things to mix it up here. But I don't think we've been to a super short track yet. I think we've got one of those on the schedule, so it'd just be interesting to see how consistent he is throughout the whole schedule. I know that's something that I've had to do a lot of work on, so I can try to win a championship. Is just consistently finish in top 5, top 3, and I think that played into a lot tonight. I was definitely not taking as many risks as I probably would have in the past, because definitely that championship is on my mind. And we've already had some fast guys get some DNFs here these past 2 weeks that are usually championship contenders. So that plays into it as well. Risk versus reward. Every time we go out there. So it'll be interesting to see. I hope he's not as fast at the road courses as he is the ovals, because I usually brag about my speed there. But we'll see how he does on dirt as well. That's always a fun one. You see mix up the field. So
well, it's been a pleasure watching you tonight, and congratulations on coming home in the P2 spot here. Any shout outs for you?
Yeah, just a shout out to you guys for doing the broadcast. You guys put on the IROC League, and I don't know if you guys noticed, but we had a celebrity appearance here tonight. You guys saw Denny Hamlin out there on the track quite a bit there, I think. Getting involved.
Must
there.
be referring to your brother.
No, another driver that was giving another one a hard time for an early lap 1 incident. Yeah, throwing a little interference there, but thank you guys for doing the broadcast.
No, it's a labor of love. Definitely appreciate you and everybody that puts on these great shows. We are just lucky enough to be able to call all the action. Kevin, always a pleasure. Thank you very much, sir.
Yep, thank you.
You got it. All right, we're going to go ahead and bring on a P number 1. Ryan Crooks, it is repeat and swats up 3 spots in that number 1. You are just, it seems like you're on a tear. You've got a lot of support out there, of course, from the EMGG side, but you had that Spartan Transportation machine on rails yet again. It seemed like we were talking about the same thing at Dover just last week. Here you are on a completely different layout of track, and yet again, it seemed like you could make no mistakes. Please walk us through your race, sir.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, I had a really good race. Love Pocono. Just love love how technical you have to be in the corners carrying such high speed. Yeah, started off kind of shaky in turn 1 on the first lap. Thankfully avoided the wreck. Didn't slide the tires too bad, so was able to make a good run for the lead, get out in the clean air, super important. And yeah, just kind of able to hit my marks and not slide the tires too bad and keep heating that right rear just so I can get off a 3 down the really long straightaway. And was a little worried when the caution came out late in the race. I was like, especially after watching the Cup race this past weekend, it's like, oh, does anybody stay out? But I just figured there was, we still had 6 or 7 to go, so it was still had a long way. And I felt like, no matter what, if I took tires, I felt like I'd be able to get to the lead no matter who stayed out. And got a little worried when Kevin got the lead. And knew if I was going to make a move, I had to make it fast. And thankfully, it's always awesome racing with Kevin. Super respectful, leaves a lot of room on the track. And, yeah, thankfully it worked out, and we brought her home back-to-back.
We saw you trying or not try, but pull a little bit of side draft on the 33 to pull him back a little bit. You went all the way down towards the apron, down this very, very long Pocono straightaway, and able to take that lead back after a couple of tit for tat lead changes. And if that race had gone on that way, both of your tires would have been done. Were you like over saying, hey, let's just get in line and let's pull away? Obviously, we're both really fast, or were you in no communication whatsoever, just really racing it out for yourself?
Yeah, this is a super new league to me, so if I feel like I've got the speed to kind of take matters in my own hands, that's what goes into a lot of the side drafting. The straightaways are so long. If you can get side by side, you have to make the pass in the next corner. If not, you just kill both lanes momentum. And yeah, I don't really like pushing and staying back in traffic at tracks where I feel like, I've got the pace to be out front. Just just the dirty air and the risk of burning up my tires, and then once the tires get worn on both sides, it's really hard. You have to be really good and really hit your marks to be able to make a pass. So yeah, there was really no communication. It was just I got to do what I got to do to get the lead and keep the clean air on the truck and just kind of run my line. I felt like I had the pace to be out front and really make it a challenge on a guy getting by me.
There you go. Swats.
I mean, there's not much more I can say after last week's dominance. Again, looks very similar to last week for this week. So I'm just kind of wondering, looking at the schedule, is there a few different tracks in here that you feel like you can continue the streak of now winning back-to-back? Can we see it again next week at Talladega? It's usually a flip of a coin track on whether or not you even finish. You were obviously really fast at Daytona. You won one of the qualifiers or whatever the heat races. Is this a theory that we could be seeing back to back next week?
Yeah, I really love Talladega. I love plate racing. It's a track I grew up going to since I was like 5. So yeah, just really understand restrictor plate racing. I really got a good feel for it. Of course, it's a coin flip at the end of the day. All you can really manage to do is try to put yourself in what you think is the best position to avoid the big one. But if we keep our car clean next week at Talladega, I really think I got a good shot. Yeah, it's just going to be interesting. There's a lot of different tracks that are coming up, so just trying to kind of hone my craft. I'm really good at bigger, higher speed tracks. And of course, Dover, is a smaller track, but you still carry a lot of speed off in the corner and just kind of managing the tire. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see. I feel like if there's anywhere I need to improve at, is definitely the smaller tracks. We've got a couple coming up. Bristol Dirt it will be pretty fun. I spent a little time racing sprint cars on dirt just because I'm really fascinated with the style of racing. But the guys that do that are just unbelievably talented. So yeah, it'll be very interesting to see Talladega. Hopefully we just get through there with a good finish, good point stay. And hopefully if we're there, certainly get the win and just moving forward, just trying to stay consistent with good finishes. Of course, when I feel like we got the pace to get them, we got to get them and just try to bank as many points as we can to try to give ourselves as much room as we can down the end of the stretch of the season, just in case, you never know what's going to happen.
I'll tell you what, Ryan, one hell of a race yet again. Great to see you. Always a lot of fun to talk to you. Very, very upbeat, very informative for not only Kurt and I, but for everybody that's out there watching. One hell of a race again. Any quick friends, family, sponsors you need to get out there, sir?
Yeah, first of all, thank you guys. I just can't express enough, just how much fun it is to go back and watch these races. So thank you guys so much for just the enthusiasm you guys bring to the broadcast, and IROC TV, Spartan Transportation, for putting on this league. Really awesome league with a lot of great drivers. And definitely big shout out to EMGG, all the guys and girls in the chat and with the live streams. All the messages is just so awesome, super motivating to keep going. And certainly shout out to Glitch Energy. I think they're sending me a care package for the little plug last week. So shout out to Glitch. Get you wired to go. And yeah, hopefully we keep this momentum up and can deliver hopefully a championship at the end of the year.
Oh, there you go. Swats, one more race in the books, and I tell you what, Ryan Crooks, he is absolutely going to be a force to be reckoned with all season long. Cannot wait. But like Ryan was just saying, we definitely got to thank our main league sponsors as well. Right now, you see R&R Raceway up in the top right-hand side. R&R, go to r-rracewear.com for any kind of apparel, diecast, whatever it is that you may need. And then, of course, our main title sponsor, Spartan Transportation, LLC. At Spartan Logistics Management, you will find a combined 75 years worth of experience among their logistics specialists. through their teams, you can rest assured that your freight will always be managed safely and with the highest of priority. They're constantly innovating to refine their processes to ensure that you and your customers are given only the highest quality of service. A dedicated logistics specialist will always be readily available 24 hours a day, 365 days a year to provide you with quality, reliable services, never leaving you with unanswered questions or concerns. Through technology, you will never have to question if your freight has been picked up, delivered, or billed. They will provide you with full service tracking from start to finish. Well, Kurt, from start to finish, this race at Pocono has been a lot of fun. Thank you very much yet again for joining me. On to Dega next week, but any final words to close us out, sir?
I mean, if we thought Pocono was exciting, wait till next week. Talladega is one of the most exciting races to watch in any league, or in real life. To me, it's so exciting to watch. It's fast. It's a lot of moving, a lot of strategy of playing. Teams come into effect, or guys that are really close to each other, the McCann brothers, with their group. It's like I said, if you enjoyed tonight, make sure you tune in next week because it's going to be exciting. Obviously, big thanks to you, Pete, for always bringing me in here. It's been an exciting league to watch. I'm really kind of watching to see who can step up and try to move up through the top 10 to get there at the end of the year. Aaron's doing a great job coming in for those 2 races, but he's obviously going to miss a few more. So, unfortunately, that's probably going to move him out of chances to get up here. But I'm wondering, Brian McCann, Kevin McCann, and Ryan Crooks have been the top 3 for a while now.
There you go. All right, guys and girls, we're going to shut this one down. Again, a big thank you to everybody that was out there on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and IROC TV. Again, on your favorite IROC device, whether it's a TV or a streaming can or pedestal device, go on over, search for the symbol that you see on the bottom left of your screen. It is a 100% free streaming app in amazing 4K clarity. Go on over, download it. You can keep up with any of the leagues, communities, clubs, podcasts like the Hot Dog Stand podcast that also sponsors this series tonight. We will see y'all again next week. Stay tuned for Dega. Same bat time, same bat channel, right around 9:15 Eastern. We will see you then. Thanks again. Have a great night.